I'm live, it says. Hello everyone, this is Tech here. Hey, we're going to go into getting to work on this. And what we're going to do today is a little different. We need to design some things. So, I need to think them through. We need to, and I'm going to fire up the game here. So, we need to design this unit queue system. I think I'm just going to design what I can in my head. And you are first, Fusion. Spiderman, you missed it by that much. I need to close this out. There's a good chance I'm going to throw spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks, right? Which means we may or may not keep what I'm about to do. But I need to see what we've got so far so that I can start modifying it from there, right? Unfortunately, I don't have a great idea of what this needs to be. So that's why I'm thinking the spaghetti at the wall kind of concept is probably best, just so I make some forward progress on this feature. Feature I'm talking about is the ability to queue up unit production and go from there. Okay, so I'm fully aware that my programming style, my way I do things, once I start doing it, I'll probably just keep whatever it is, but hey, you never know. So right now we can buy units like crazy. It's not actually taking cost, it doesn't look like. But, oh, there it is. Yeah, okay, so we need to force an update to the client. And we get those things not really given to us, right? It might have been given us something, I don't know, probably because I was testing something. No, you did not tell me that. That is news. I think what I'm going to try and do is disconnect the structures from their ability to buy things. We're going to have one central queue in which you buy things, and that central queue is just depleted by everything that you've got, right? So if you build 10 barracks and queue up 20 units, they're all going to start working through it. It's not good, man. You gotta do something about that. Get rid of them things. They're literal bloodsuckers. Where am I gonna do this at? In the different buildings, right? So we need these buildings to house what, or to interact with the queues that we're gonna set up. The queue needs to be a list of some type, I believe, so that we can determine order with that list. That list needs to be sendable to the client so that the client can see it. And by see it, I mean they need to know what's in the list so they can determine if they like what they've got ordered or whatever. They can see what they've got ordered. Otherwise, there's no way of knowing. And I'm sorry, but these walls and stuff look cool to me. I know some people may not like them, but I do. They shall be perfect when I am done. So let's start on this queue system. We need a class or method or something to hold it. What does TM mean? So TM means trademark, but have you ever heard someone say soon TM? It's a kind of a gaming meme when someone's making something like a game. They say it'll be out soon and then put TM afterwards because they're joking around that, you know, that's always the answer. It's kind of its own little meme. I think probably the best place to hold these queues are on the main class. I don't necessarily like that, but it's also where we're holding some of these other setups, right? We'll need it to have a hash map that translates from the string that is the player's team, or the player maybe, to this list. That's my biggest holdup, right? Now, taking that one step further, I think we're going to have, and I'm making this decision right now. So we're going to have a hash map. Hey, Zach. Public static hash map. And what the hash map really is about for this is letting us, no, let's do it as an array. What the heck am I doing? Let's do this as an array. Yes? I think so. Public static. So it's going to be an array of another class. Let's build another class first. All over the place tonight, I know. We'll get there. So, unit queues. YouTube finally told me I am live. Been live for 7 minutes almost. So we need, in this, we're gonna have a list for IDs, so integers, a list of integers. And that list of integers, we're gonna make it private. And it's gonna be called barracks. Basically gonna create a list for each of the unit production types. Okay, do I need to call it integer in there instead? Probably. What do you mean by a catapult like that? It'll get added eventually. Or a trebuchet will. Barracks, we're gonna have stables, archery range, and maybe possibly other things, right? So these three lists for now, we're going to add setters and getters for these. Let's do getters only. Select getters. Generate. So I don't think we're ever going to need to set it. No, we will need to set it completely. Dang it. Okay. No, we'll create a constructor instead that has all these as parameters. Override implements. Where is it at? Constructor using fields. Generate. Okay, I love it when Eclipse writes code for us. Okay, now that we've got that, we're going to create a public static unit queues array, and it's going to be a new unit queues What's the difference between a catapult and trebuchet? They do different things. Look it up. What is the world? What's wrong with this? Unit queues. Array of size 4. Oh, I didn't name it. Team queues. Right, because each one of those is going to be a different team. Each instance in the array is going to be another team. Okay. And somewhere, probably in setup, we're going to initialize all these to just a brand new thing with nothing in it. So down here, team queues for int I equals 0 to I is less than team queues dot length I plus plus at this I equals new T unit queue, and once a new send it some. Array list of integers So this is just to get everything set up so that they're there, and we can add to these list later. We're not giving it any size or any values or anything. Guess I need the that. Oh, and we need a closing semicolon. Okay, got distracted. Okay, so that should be good there. Then basically at this point, we kind of need to just put into the utilities class where we're saying we've purchased this thing, adding to the queues the unit IDs. So let's get in our reference class as well, wherever I put that at, there it is, a unit ID for each one of these unit types. Okay, so unit IDs for the queues. The public stat, caps lock, public static, final int, unit ID minion equals 1. Archer equals 2. Lancer equals 3, and this last one will be Pikeman equals 4, and then we just add more to that as we add more unit types. Okay, so now in our utilities class, where we are getting the stuff. Hey, Spiderman. I understand you got to go. Spawn unit for team, no. Okay, let's do it from the GUI side, 'cause I can't remember what the class name is. Something silly. Troop building screen, unit creating screen. So in here we go to that, and in that we go to this, and we find, or we buy the items, or buy the units. Okay, so now, this is a minion one, so utilities, do we have a team? We have a player. We can get the player team, okay. So player, we already got team. Derp, 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 derp. So, gosh, this is complicated. In our RTS dot team queues for our specific team, thinking of what else I need to do this. I think there's probably some more methods we need to add to unit queues real quick. Like public add void add to proper queue, right? And it's just going to take the ID and then do all the heavy lifting for us. So int ID. So we'll come back to that, and we need We don't need the team because the team's already going to be called up for us by the other method. Okay. Dot, we'll say 1, for example. Dot add to proper queue, and then the ID of this type. So this is a minion, so we need to say unit reference dot unit minion. Okay, and then we need to convert this into its ID form, right? So I've pretty much already done this. It's in the team info dot, no, that's resources. Team properties dot, nope. Team enum, there we go. Team enum dot get ID from name. So we get the team name into there, and that gives us the ID. There we go. So I put that into here, and then this whole thing stays the same except for unit ID on all of these, because we're putting the real work into the other class, which will just handle everything. This should be one for pikemen. Boom. Okay, so then we can go into add proper units like that. Oh wait, gotta go back. Gotta change these words to say pikemen, etc. Pikeman, Lancer. Archer minion. So we're going to switch on ID, and we're going to use reference dot unit. Do we make that a enum instead? I don't know that it helps us any. Lancer, this should be minion, Archer, Lancer. If I do these in order, it just helps me keep track of everything. Pike, and okay, and then why is that P-I-K-E? We need to call off to the proper thing with the ID. So let's do this. Let's add yet another method. This one will be a private void add to barracks queue. It's going to take an int ID again, and it's going to really dumb it down for us as far as how we do this implementation, right? So we can just say add to barracks queue ID, just like that on that one and that one. No, not that one, this one. And then the other two, we create the stables queue and the archer queue. Archery range queue. Okay, so now we say barracks dot add ID. Now that might seem overkill, adding this method to do this when I could have put this line up here, but I'm trying to think ahead here. We're gonna have to also do another statement that sends information to the client so the client knows that that's been added. Because remember, this is code that runs on the server side, so the server knows what's happening, right? So they both have to be in sync with each other as far as what's taking place. And that's the easiest way for me to do that. Okay, now, we've done that. Let's mirror this to another one. Archery range. Archery range. Cool. And one more for stables. And we're very likely to add another one. Siege Workshop. Or maybe something that does support class, right? So like the witch type thing. Maybe it's a witch hut or something like that, right? You know, there's could be multiples that we're doing here. Stables is the point. So Lancer goes into here. And archery range goes into there. Nope, not like that. Okay, so we've got our queues set up now. We're gonna need a way for the individual blocks to remove something from the queue when it's produced it. So I think the best way for that is to add another method that's just remove from barracks, remove from stables, remove from archery range. Remove from. And the idea here is we say remove, but not the ID, because we don't care which one we want to remove. We want to remove the first. So we're always going to remove index 0. Okay. And I'm going to put some checks on this one. So I believe if we were to do that and there was no index 0, it would die, it would fail. So let's do that. If barracks dot length dot size, okay, size is greater than 1. So there's something in the list. That's all we're saying. We'll do this. Put that down here. We say archery range there. Stables here. Don't need the IDs. So always removing the first. I guess we should just say remove first. Remove first from archery range barracks. Because there might be another case where I need to remove a specific one, and I'll get to that later. Okay. So we've already got it set up to add to the queues. Now we need to remove the first from the queues in the unit production buildings. So in the tile entities themselves. So let's go to the barracks. And on this, where we're trying to spawn, we first remove from the queue. Wait, we need to get our team's queue. So TS RTS dot get dot team. What the heck? Come on. TS RTS dot team queues, and we're gonna do team enum dot get ID from name, and we're gonna say get team, which is the method on this tile entity. And we're gonna get the Get the barracks one. That's actually taking the entity in there, isn't it? So we're gonna have to change this class out. Fair enough. So we've got the barracks. Dot size. It's greater than 1. If it's greater than 1. Right? So it's checking to see should we do work. If we should do work, it's going to do the thing. So we need to dot get name. So I think it'd be to our benefit to cache this locally first, because that's a lot to go through every time. So, well, no, we can't. Dang it. Okay, so if it's our team, they've got a size of 1. We need to pass in whatever that value is for the first entry in it to this. So this dot get index 0. So we're always going to spawn the first one from this list, never the second or third. Okay. Then over in spawn unit for team. Come on, take us back to it. Save this. Spawn unit for team. There we go. And here we need to not take an entity type as this, but instead an integer. An int. Unit ID. And we're going to create a entity type here. We'll call it ET. And we'll set it to null for the moment. And we're going to do a switch statement here. No, we're going to create another method. Public static void get entity type for unit ID. It's going to take a int unit ID. Okay. We're basically going to say this unit ID. We're going to switch on unit ID reference dot unit archer. Return entity mod entities dot minion. MIN-ION, there we go. That break's not needed because the return statement will do the same thing. We copy this. Entity type. Archer. Lancer. Oops. Lance. Mounted entity. Oh, I called it mounted entity there. Cool. Pikeman. Pikeman. And what we're probably going to need to do also is create a class that would return, or not class, a method that would return the gear that they should have for each of the individual slots. So we can deck out a unit real easy. And then we just say ET. Ta-da! Okay, and that broke our archery range and our stables as expected, because we need to do essentially this to it. If we save this line, it should be very happy. Let's get rid of the extra quote there, or comma. We can copy this. And paste it into the archery range, right? Now the barracks already had its resource stuff taken out of it, so we're good there. This one does not. Let's do that, and we're going to change from get barracks to get archery range on both of those. And down here on stables, we do the same thing with stables. And my son is asking me if he can get a game, so I'm going to step away a minute here, guys. We're going to only take me like 5 minutes, right? Probably on Steam. I'll be right back. Enjoy the music. Hello, can you hear me now? Hopefully you can stream. Sorry about that. My son wanted the game Boneworks. It's a VR game. Looks pretty cool. I'll probably get myself buy Havoc so I can continue working on the mod. So I know once I get it, I'll keep playing it. Never work on the mod again. Hello.
Hello.
So how much did I regret walking away without supervision for you on the stream? That's what I thought. 36 minutes in, I need to ban Reaper if he's dead today. Okay, 36 minutes. Got that written down. So this should be everything for the queue system. So let's try it. Everything for the basics of it. That or I've horribly missed something. Wait, no, I missed something, didn't I? No, dang it. It would have infinitely produced stuff. We need to say all of this with .rem. I thought I said something about removing stuff from queues, didn't I? Oh, I made them private. Public. Dang it. Dot remove from archery range queue. Dot remove from barracks queue. And stables. Really? Okay, now let's try it. It's only 3 buildings, so doing it this way isn't too bad. Even if I add 2 more buildings, it's not a ton of work. All the work's going to be in the unit types.
So what you working on tonight?
The unit queues. Like actually making them a thing instead of it just infinitely spawning stuff when you place down the building. Let's go blue. We've got some resources. Let's go to spawn, I guess. Make sure there's nothing at spawn. There's pretty much not. Your mic is on. Thank you.
And I turned it off and I said, ooh, sorry.
That's even better. Let's put on a barracks here. And wait 20-ish seconds. There shouldn't be anything produced from it if I did this right. And while we're waiting, I'm going to go into here and I'm going to go to the utilities class and spawn unit. It does look to see if it's a pikeman. If it's a pikeman, then it gives him the pike. So, not seeing anything come out of this thing, so let's go into the Y screen, unit recruitment, pikeman. And 10 seconds later, we should get a pikeman. Or nothing. Looks like it's gonna be nothing. So let's see why. Yep, still nothing. Barracks, where are you? Blob. Put a Blake point right there. Okay. Why is it not running that code at all? There it is, finally. So the barrack queue size is what? 1. Oh, I'm dumb. That's what's wrong. It should be greater than 0, not greater than 1. That means there would need to be 2 things in the queue if it's greater than 1. Rip. Now we can just run the code, and out comes a pikeman. Our first naturally spawned pikeman. Yay! Now if I continue to wait, we shouldn't get any more pikemen. Oh, but we do.
Yeah.
Ah, greater than 1 again. Greater than 0, please. Haha. That's why we test things. Okay, let's kill this unwanted child here. Here we go. Now we got another one? What? Okay, maybe he didn't. Yeah, that's the next one shouldn't come out. Right? It's such a long wait. 10 seconds is an eternity. Okay, it's working. Now if I go unit recruitment minion and wait, we should get a minion. Or nothing. I've got the resources. See, minion's messed up still. Okay. It was giving me an item instead of recruiting a minion. So let's take a look at that screen. So GUI, unit recruitment screen, buy minion. That's what it's calling. So that goes into here, and we're saying buy minion, which by minion is ID 13. So by gate is also 13. So it is giving me the gate instead. Really? 17 and 18. So now I need to restart, because these don't take effect, those changes, until we restart. So how is everyone tonight? Christmas is getting close.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
Seriously, it snowed here today. My wife messaged me. Looked outside.
It's Arizona. It was 95 outside.
I'm probably gonna get to go visit you.
Hey, we got some good tacos.
It's not till like May or something, but I get to go to a conference in Arizona for work.
That's gonna be like around hundreds.
Yeah, I looked it up online. It was like 95, 92, 95 was
Solar.
the average. I'm like, no, that's so hot.
It depends. It depends. It could be between the hundreds, or it could be like instead of. It actually hit early this year for the cold weather, so it's gonna be hot. But usually it starts getting cold around January.
But I'm not coming till May. It's gonna get warm again though.
Yeah, you're screwed.
Basically.
What part, if you don't mind me asking?
Phoenix area.
Phoenix?
Yeah.
Darn it, everybody goes to Phoenix.
It's where the conference is, so.
Yeah.
So if we get a minion, this works. Go ahead.
I live like 2 hours away from that.
Ah, yeah.
There's some nice outlets I would suggest. They're like in the border of the city, which is like, I think 30-45 minutes from the center.
Okay. I'll say with the conference I went to, it's the same one I went to last year. There's very little time for other things. Like just the way that they do their conferences, they keep you busy all day, and then at night they'll like have dinner one night. That's a big deal, and then another night. Like last year, they took us to the Dallas Cowboys football stadium. Not the stadium, sorry, their training center. So that was kind of cool.
I'm guessing this is work related?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Okay, so there's the archer, and let's go ahead and plop down to stables too. Actually, last year was how I was able to meet CZ for the first time. Okay, so I did have an archer in the queue, and I did have a lancer in the queue, so let's see if we get more. We shouldn't. By meet him, I mean in real person. Like, I've known him much longer online. It was kind of weird. You know, you're...
So, is this like a conference for like technology or something like that?
Yeah.
Based on computer.
Yep. It's for a click tool I use at work.
Is it one of those that you go and they like teach you like a specific subject on a new program or something?
Yeah. They're teaching you the latest features that they're releasing for their software, and it's basically a big advertisement for them too, right? That's their motivation of putting it on.
And
but it's
usually they have like a whole bunch of things they sell.
Yep, they'll be their vendors will be there, you know, saying, "We work well with this tool. Buy our stuff too."
Oh, so it's a free class, but the way they pay it is based on you buying their stuff they're selling there.
No, you have to pay for it usually.
Oh, you have to pay. Oh,
yeah.
So it's
you have to pay to attend
assuming...
typically, but it's possible through sales reps. Sometimes some companies, when they do these type of things, will, like, if you buy so much of their product, they'll be like, "Oh, you can get free tickets to our conference this year," which is just another sales pitch for them. So why wouldn't they? Okay, this is working. The only thing else that I could want from it is on some screen somewhere showing you what's in your queues, so that you know. And maybe it's on the screen all the time, knowing what's in your queues. The problem with that is I need a way of saying what these minions are visually.
Maybe you can have, you know how they usually, the hot bar underneath?
Mm-hmm.
You can have like 3 or 4 extra ones underneath on the right side, and they can have like the picture of whatever you're trying to make. And then if you press like command or control, it will like switch to the time it has, or something like that. Does that help at all?
The picture stuff does, yes. That's kind of what I had in mind. The time does not, because if I put down... Let's try this. I haven't tried it. Let's put down
Or how
4
many-
of these.
What is this for? Is this like for how many people are in queue for?
Yeah, like how many people you've
Then you can
told
have
it
like
to
how many
recruit.
are left to be made.
Well,
like 14,
order's
then another
important
one,
with
13.
what I'm doing. So what I mean is, like, if you tell it, if you click archer, 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 or sorry, minion, 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 pikeman, minion, it'll spit them out in that order.
Oh.
So I think it needs to be a visual thing, like a picture of a, let's say, a fist for the base minion. And then like 4 of those, and then a pike, right? And then for archers, it would be just bows. And then maybe for lancers, it's the lance.
You could also do the thing I'm telling you at the bottom, but
Yeah.
make it so it's like stackable items. And if you have like 64 that are on queue, it will show like 64.
That might help
only
if there's
bad thing-
multiples in a row. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. I was gonna say the bad thing would be like it'll cap at 64.
Oh, we can make it cap at whatever we want. It doesn't have to actually be a real item. It just needs to put a number
Oh.
next to it. So let's... I don't have any way of giving myself more items, do I? Crap. So let's put down more town halls. Goodbye, horsey. Suffocate. Oh, you're not. Your head's not the block. Okay, so we're getting resources now. So if I go into unit recruitment and say minion, lancer, minion, lancer, minion, lancer, minion, lancer, minion, 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 they are coming out the various barracks on their own.
And also another thing that'd be kind of nice to be, you can have like a short key that orders like 5 of a specific amount.
Maybe. I say maybe because it's
Short
super
keys.
easy just to click it. Just click it
Yeah,
5
right.
times. Okay, I need to get rid of all these guys so I can see if I'm getting what I'm ordering. I can't tell. Die, all of you.
Does those / kill all still work?
Sure. Kill. At E. I have to give it a specific type, but it'll work. Type. Otherwise, it'll kill the barracks and everything. RTS.
Oh.
Minion. Okay, no more minions. Okay, so let's now go Y, unit recruitment. Lancer, Lancer, Minion, Minion. Just like that. So we should get 2 of each. You are not a pikeman. Oh, I'm saying Lancer. That's what's wrong. I meant to say pikeman and click on pikeman, but I was clicking on the wrong thing. I said Lancer, which is the horse guy. That's why it's not working. So, pikeman, pikeman, minion, minion. Pikeman. Pikeman. Minion. Minion. Awesome. Unit queues are a thing. I'm gonna kill this guy because he's a pikeman. With his no knockback, he is a tank. Did you see him just took that to the chin and did not move? It works. surprisingly.
Yeah.
Now, the only thing is you don't know what's in your queue. So how can we fix that? We talked about the visual aspect of it. We can certainly do what we talked about. I think that's possible. The thing don't have though is the network packet to tell the client what the server knows, because only the server knows what's in the queues right now. So let's do that next. Let's create a network packet, because packets are not fun at all. The order of the list is important, so we're in sync with what we're doing.
Have fun.
So we want something that's going to the clients. Let's start with that.
So in the packet, it would be something that gets the information from the server itself and then gets it to the player?
Yes. So
okay.
When you click on the button, it sends a packet from your computer to the TSCraft server. TSCraft says, oh, he bought a minion, and adds it to the queue on the server only. So your computer doesn't know what's in your queue. So the way to fix that is the server, when it adds it to the queue, needs to send a packet back that says you just added a minion. And then the reason that I say in that direction, yes, I could add it when you're clicking the button, but the problem is it never gets removed from the client, because only does it get removed on the server when it's spawning that unit in. So the server will also send that same packet back that says, here's what's in your queue, every time it changes. So it can update the screen for you. Okay, so unit queue. Unit queue changed. Packet to client. Perfect. That's what we shall call it. We don't need the owner's name. We don't need these positions, which means we don't need any of that. Okay, so what do we need? We need a list. If I can get my fingers on the right keys, list of integers. What we'll call barracks queue. Archery range queue and stables queue. We need to do some imports here, it looks like. Yep. So this is decoding the packet off the network. So when we received it, we need to put it into our stuff. So we're going to first get a size. So size, integer size equals buff.read int. Okay, and then we're going to say, do we need a size? No. Yeah, we do. Okay. For int I equals 0. I is less than size. I plus plus. We're going to say temp int temp equals buff.read int and barracks q.add temp. I basically need to do that same thing for the other queues then. Archery range queue will be next, and followed by the stable queue. And this here becomes where we encode it. Ugh. I accidentally did that. Okay, so we need the size of each of the cues. So we'll say buff.write int of that dot size. Stables queue, archery range queue, and then we do the same here. And we say get I instead of that, we say buff write int. Okay, there's that piece. And then finally we need to change this to a proper constructor that has all of the right things in it. Okay, and then we take each one of these. Like this, and we say this dot that equals that. Okay, and then this needs to get its own packet handler. So we're just going to go into this class and create a public static void that method name. Like that, we're going to determine what the parameters are in a second. Zombie minions. Just new texture pack, no changes to the original. I mean, adding a resource pack to vanilla is something that anyone can do. So you just got to change out the resource, the names basically, and it would all work. What file it's pointing to?
Never mind. I just think it'd be cool, kind of have being able to pick between 2 or 3 different like classes, but they're the same thing.
That's kind of what we got, right? So blue's a different minion appearance than yellow.
So they're different to the appearance of the minions?
Yeah.
Oh, that must be new. I haven't seen that.
Oh my gosh, it's been in the thing forever.
Have they?
Yeah. So the yellow guys are literally yellow, and the blue guys are blue. With a different skin, too. It's not just like their shirt's a different color. The yellow guys, like the archers, have like a towel on their head, or whatever you want to call it, a bandana on their head.
I've seen that now.
Reaper doesn't pay that close attention, stream.
I remember the horses, they're like white, and the other horses are...
Exactly. So pretty much everything I put into the mod that's a entity or a block has 4 different flavors of its textures. There's 4 of every texture, one for each of the teams. Which is part of the reason that I'm not fond of adding any more than 4 teams, because there's enough textures as it is. Okay, so this gets the packet onto our system. We need a, I guess, team name passed into us as well. Which means I do need this junk. No, we'll pass the integer of the t. Never mind. So on this, we're going to say int team ord, yeah, team ord. That's perfect. Which will just be the ordinal of the team. And that this dot equals that, and we'll just write this or read it right up front. Team ord equals buff dot read int and buff dot write int. Okay. So we can pass the team ordinal, the barracks queue, the archery range queue, and the stables queue. So let me say int team ord list int barracks queue and stables. To import the list. There we go. And then we say tsrts dot team queues team ord equals new team. No, it was unit queues with barracks queue, archery range queue, and a stables queue. Is that the correct order for those? It is not. Awesome. That would have been cool. Okay, so now we need to register the network packet, which we just need the name for that so that I can figure out what to call this thing. What's this? And go into mod network. Third person, maybe? Fourth person. 1, 2, 3, fourth person, man. And hello, Red Panda. There we go. So that packet is registered, and then on the server, we need to figure out where to send this stuff every time it's changed. But I'm seeing a flaw in that logic already. Yay! That is quite the specific number as well, Red Panda. 707.169. Is there that many more Red Pandas on the internet? Hopefully that's not how many Red Pandas there are in the wild.
I think he's 70 years old. He was born in 71 and he likes the 69.
Reaper. I'm gonna take
I
your
was way
talk
off.
powers away.
Um, fair enough.
Okay. So what I'm thinking right now is, right now I know when this thing's changed. What I don't know though is who to send it to. Because this class doesn't know what team it's for. Because we've separated that team aspect by setting up an array. You're going to give that away to your friend from the other day, who you actually are, saying things like that.
He stalked me after the chat.
I bet.
He was like going into my videos and putting comments.
Really? Cool.
Yeah, he was like, "Hey, this is me from the other video. Hey, where are you at?"
I think I might need to set a flag that this has been changed, and then in the server tick loop do a thing. It's not an elegant solution, but it will do. And we'll know what team it is at that point, so we can send it to that respective team. Private. Public, I mean. Boolean has changed. And we're never going to set that except for in this class's methods to be true. So the only place we'll set it outside of this class is when we set it back to false. And this right here is why I was saying it's good to have methods for everything. You can come back later and just add in another property being modified. Okay, so if it's changed and our server tick loop, wherever I've put that at somewhere, here it is. On server tick, let's put it at the end here. We're gonna loop through all of them. So for int I equals 0, I is less than team enum dot get dot values dot side dot length I plus plus. Whoever in Java decided that one should be called size and the other one should be called length should be taken out back and shot, because that's so annoying, because they're the same thing. Well, why is one size and one length? Anyway. For each of the teams, basically, we're going to go through this loop and see. So, RTS dot team queues I dot has changed. So if it has changed, we're first off going to remember to set it to false so that we don't send it again next time. Okay. And then what? RTS. We need network. Mod network. Dot. Send to player. Send to all players. No, we don't want that one. Do we? Let's take a look. We do. That works. Send to all players. And it's going to be a new unit queues packet changed client. There we go. And we're gonna get what? We're gonna grab all of the list from this magical thing I've made. Barracks. Get archery range. Get stables. And then I think we might have just glued it all together. It doesn't show anywhere on the screen, but we've got it glued together, guys. Okay. So next, we need to show it on the screen. And we've got this handy dandy overlay that's already showing stuff on the screen all the time. Right here, render game overlay event. It's showing our hotbar, or our stuff at the top of the screen, basically. So let's try somehow to render this in a way that makes sense. Let's first do this, and then do this, because those are needed. Okay. And it's just what? You know what? Render unit queues. Like that. And that's going to be a public void render unit queues. Like so. And inside there we'll do this push and pop. And we need to get our team of the player that's actively running right now. So that's done somewhere around here. Get scoreboard, name, blah, blah, blah. Yep, down through team. Oh, we already got team. Cool. We can just pass team to it. Let's do that. Which means we need to be this up inside of this junk where there's actually a team. Yep, right there. Render unit queues. Okay. String team. And then we can do the team enum dot get that team. Ta-da! Now we have an ID. Team, so int team ord equals that. So we know what our team is. Let's only focus on the barracks right now because my brain's about to be fried anyway, and that's the only one that really matters because it's got two different units in it for the time being. So tsrts dot team queues team ordinal dot get barracks dot size. Come on. If that is greater than 0, I remembered it should be 0 this time, then we're going to get the list. Let's just do it in a for loop. For all that size. There we go. Int I equals 0. I plus plus, blah, 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 blah. I is less than that. Okay, so that dot get I. And you know what? For right this moment, I'm just going to render the number of the ID on the screen to show that we've got something. So let's do that. So we're going to say int ID equals that. We're just going to put it right here at 0 on the X, and I don't know, like 500 down with that color. Yay! And I'm gonna say I times 5, I guess. Drinking coffee this at 9 o'clock at night. Yeah, I know you're behind.
It's only 7.
I know.
And
But it's 9 for me.
normal.
And I don't drink coffee, so if I drank coffee at 7, I'd probably still be awake at 12. When I go on long drives, like I have a bad habit of being sleepy when I drive long distances. I'm talking like 2-3 hours, right?
I have the same issue, but it was because I used to wake up like at 4 in the morning, go to school, and then after that, go to another school for my nursing program. And then after that, go back to the same school, do football practice for 3 hours, and then drive. My parents would come and get me and drive back home to be like half an hour. So I would always fall asleep in the car.
Yep.
Because I was tired. Plus college courses, I had like 2 or 3. So I made a really bad habit of falling asleep on the car. So now that I have, anytime I drive, I'm getting over it, but anytime I drive, I'll like get really sleepy.
Yep. So I drink a Mountain Dew, and then I'm like set for the night. I have to drive a long distance.
Doesn't Mountain Dew make your urine become fluorescent?
Maybe. Dang it, I ran out of money. But I think it's working. It is working. So down here in the corner of the screen, you can barely see it probably on the stream. There are the number 1s down there, and they're disappearing as the units are coming out. Yes, we can do this. We just need a picture to draw. Oh. And I killed it. It crashed. The stupid queue went to nothing, and then it crashed.
So solution, always have something on queue?
Yeah, exactly. Null pointer. Oh, okay. So that's simple enough to fix, I guess. It's just annoying. If this is not null. Let me do it. So
what do you
really,
think about...
Go
ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I refuse.
What do you think about taking screenshots of the minions and just what's it called, getting the quality lowered enough so you can be able to put picture down there? Or would you be better off doing that other option with a bow and arrow?
It works, but do I have to then create 4 pictures for each one because of the different textures for each team? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it's just, you can take a screenshot and just thumb it down, lower the resolution. Or would that be too much?
Like, lowering the resolution, I don't care. That's no big deal. It's the... I would love to just be able to put their face there, but their faces are not going to be different between some of the units. It's like the texture of their face, right? Just the front of their face.
Mm-hmm.
But...
You can get that from the texture packs. Just the front of the face.
Right, but like the...
It'd be different for every unit.
They're the same though. That's what I'm saying. Like different unit types have the same face as each other.
I would not do faces because it'd be hard to... I mean, after a while you get used to it. But for a started out player, it'd be a lot easier to acknowledge what they are and what they're for. If you have like either a bow or something that's more directly connected to it.
I'm thinking the weapon might be the best. It's just the one guy doesn't have a weapon. Because then as you upgrade them, like the minion has no weapon right now, right? And maybe that's part of the fix. We can give him a weapon.
I think a stick will be nice.
Stick?
Yeah. Because that's, I mean, it's if you think about a worker or a farmer or something that's like a minion, maybe they'll be holding either a tool or a stick or something that you find on the ground.
Just give them all sticks. Like, actually give them sticks when we spawn them in.
Yeah. And give them like a little bit of knockback.
Well, they do now, but it's only if... Yeah. So we could give the minions a weapon. That is one solution. Is it crash? Okay. Alternatively, we could just get a picture of a fist or something and add it as an item.
I was thinking about a glove too.
Yeah. And if you know, Minecraft fist is really just a cube, so I don't know how well that's going to translate. Let's try this unit queue again. So if I do,
you could also do like a wood,
pikeman,
like a piece of wood.
Minion.
You know, when you start up the game, you punch wood.
Yeah. It crashed again. What the heck? Unit queue packet change to client. Really? Oh, that wasn't what I was expecting. Oh, seriously? I gotta make sure it's not null? Crap. Oh, if it's null, that makes it so much harder. So if it's not equals to no, then we write it out, else we write out a 0. I'm gonna have to do the same thing for all of these stupid things. Archery range Q. Else. So if stables is not equal to no, guys know I don't know. What don't you know? I guess we could like translate the numbers into letters. M for minions, P for pikemen, L for lancers, etc. Then it's kind of straightforward and don't have to figure out what the picture means. Except for language barriers. If it gets translated ever.
If you want to be really mean, you can use Roman numerals.
Yeah, but I'm running them all back to back to each other, so it's like V I V V V V I. What the heck number is that? Oh, it just changed. I don't know. Start over. Oh,
Would separating them based on color be also a good idea? No.
Yeah, but Roman numerals don't do it. Like, I might as well just use the numbers, right?
No, I'm saying like if you do like the letters like L for Lancer and then a number, also separate it based on color. Have Lancers being red, and then the Archers a different color, so you can if they're going to be in a row like that.
Well,
so you'd be able to separate them easily.
There's going to be one line that's your barracks queue, another line that's your archery range queue, and another line that's your stables queue, and another line that'll be your siege workshop queue, and another line's going to be whatever, because they're all independent of each other. So if I queue up 5 archers and 5 minions, the first archer and first minion will be worked on at the same time. Right, so we don't need an archer to spit out before the minion goes, because they're 2 different buildings working on them. So that's why I'm like, I'm gonna have multiple lines down there.
confused me because I thought you said that if you put one first, it will go that one first. It wouldn't be at the same time.
For the unit
mind.
types that are in the same building. So the Lancer or the pikemen and the minions will come out of the same building. And I'm saying it that way very specifically because as we get upgrades, what I plan to do is you can still recruit a minion if you've got iron and diamond armor unlocked for your minions, right? There'll be different names. They won't be called minions anymore. Like it might be knight and then like super knight, right? And if you don't have the diamonds to recruit a super knight, which is going to be in diamond armor, you might want to recruit a minion or a knight. So you can recruit them in whatever order you want, and it will spit them out in that order because they're all coming out of the same barracks building. But an archer is going to come out from our archer building, and that's going to be a different queue. So you're going to have one queue for each unit production building type. I'm probably saying that horrible, but all of your barracks will work on the same queue. All of your archery ranges will work on the archery range queue and not the barracks queue. All of your stables will work on the stable queue and not the archery range or
will you be able to put those on like different rows, or are they all?
Yes, that's what I'm thinking. Like at the bottom of the screen, I'll put them one after another.
It was confusing because I thought you were doing it in the game as different, but they were all on the same line. So that's like
yeah. So right now I'm only showing the one, but we need to show all three, eventually 4, 5, or 6. Who knows?
How hard would it be to have like pictures? Because it like the second you put down like an archer and that's the line for the archer, you're going no.
Yeah, exactly. You'll know right away, right?
Yeah. As long as there's like one picture for it. And literally like the minions, though they have nothing, you can literally just do nothing for them. If you
like an empty square or something?
Nothing. Because they literally have nothing in their hands.
But then it would look like you don't have anything in your queue, but you do. That's my only problem with it.
No, I mean, still have the queue, but instead of having a picture or something, just leave it blank or don't have anything because it's not necessary. Instead of trying to look for something.
I think it's easy enough to dummy something up for it, though. And also, we could... So all of these textures for the blocks are made up of...
Another thing that we can do... Sorry. Another thing we can do, just type out the word archer.
We could. It's just going to get really long if you have like 15 things in your queue. Archer.
No.
Yeah.
Instead of a picture at the left corner, just have the word archer and then the queue with the numbers.
With the numbers, though.
What was that?
I forgot about the number thing still. That makes it different to try and figure out how to draw it, but it might be easiest for... It'd be the most intuitive. If it says minion 5, you know there's 5 minions, right?
Mm-hmm. And then if you put more, it would like 5, 5, 5, 5 in that single line. They're written queued.
Yeah, but what about like if I click? So I'm just like thinking ahead, right? So I click 5 times on the pikeman. I click 5 times on the minion. I click 5 times on the pikeman. I click 5 times on the minion again. It's gonna say pikeman 5, minion 5, pikeman 5, minion 5, and just keep doing that because you've kept going in and buying more and more.
Oh no, I mean like if you make 5 lines and each one's a different class, and all it does is if you put like 5 or 1, it goes to that line.
Yeah, it's not going to show what I want to show though. What I want to show is the order that they're in.
But the order on those lines don't matter because.
But the pikeman and minion are going to come out of the same building, so they're one queue.
Then you can have it so you can have the words for the pikemen and the minions like different colors, and then the numbers in different colors. Say the minions are green and the pikemans are blue, and you can just have it so it's in the same line. And then it's different colors. So you say you put 4 pikemans and then 4 minions. It's going to be blue, green color of the numbers in that single line if it's the same building. Does that make any sense?
It makes sense. I'm also thinking it's going to be easier for me to just make pictures for all these and put the pictures on there than trying to code for all that. Because,
Oh, fair enough.
like, in a loop, I would need to say how many of this thing are the same as the last thing I did and keep counting that up. And then when I hit something that's different, draw out the last thing and put the number there. It's doable.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not as... There's some intelligence that you need to put into it versus just draw whatever this thing is, right? It's the counting part that's the hard part. Not even hard. It's just I want to be lazy about it, I guess. I'll do it the way I'm thinking, and then probably have to change the way you're talking about. When everyone says, that's too long, I don't know what's after the 15th thing I have got, because it's off my screen.
Are you able to, like, limit it so there's only a certain amount?
Yeah.
That could be a way to...
Yeah, we could make it so it only shows the first X number if we need to. Okay, so going from unit ID to a item in the game is what I'm going to go with for now for the picture. So we got a method that will get a item render for a specific thing and put it on where we can render that thing, so we're good there. It's just we need to get the item for this, and we can do that. So public void get item to render get unit render item icon, because it's their icon. So we gotta get an ID, and we're going to do a switch on the ID. If I can type, this would help. There we go. Reference unit minion. Okay, and I did void for some stupid reason. This should be an item. Let's take an item stack. It does. So we want to return an item stack. Else, so return new, so item stack dot empty. There we go. So that nothing gets rendered if it doesn't have an ID in there. Yay. Okay. Don't need that because we're gonna say return new item stack items dot stick. I'm going to go with your stick ID for the moment, so I get a better thing to render on the screen for the minion. It's way too many, but that's fine. Archer. We're gonna do a bow. For the lancer, we'll do a lance. So it'll be mod items in that case.
What's the normal size of a picture for like an item in your inventory? Is it 64 by 64?
The texture is 16 by 16 by default, but I can render it any size on the screen that I want, which is what I'm doing actually. It'll come up very small in the corner of the screen when I do this. Mod items. And that's because I've set the scale of this thing to be small.
Mm-hmm.
Pike. Okay. There we go. Then I just need to call this with ID. And believe it or not, 500 was an excellent number to put it at, even though I'm going to have to change it later, I'm sure. And I times 5 is going to be the X coordinate. Okay, and that's for the barracks one. We need to do one for the archery range. Okay, and one for the stables. And we'll do 400, 450, and 500 is the locations of those. So separated by 50. It's probably way too much, but eh. We're just demoing if this will even work or not. There's probably something more efficient I need to do down here as well, like actually get the resource location of the textures, but this does for now. Here we go, drum roll. Okay, so let's go in here and say unit recruitment 1 of each, please. Oh, instant crash, cool. Oh, dang it, I'm an idiot. Okay, so we gotta put these into there. Wasn't even related to the code that I was just writing. This code we wrote earlier. I crashed it. That stinks, Red Panda. Try changing the... What's the word? Minion hand.
Quality of the video?
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Reaper. You know, I'm streaming in 1080, but try like 720 or whatever. Appropriate for your internet. What were you saying, Reaper?
It's the cough.
The cough.
Coffee.
Oh. I'm pretty sure that's more than 16 pixels though, Reaper.
I thought you said you can make it smaller.
I can render it smaller on the screen, but we still want it to be 16 pixels in the image so that it's not like a gig file for someone to download the mod when we're done. Okay, let's try again. Unit recruitment. Minion. Archer. Oh, we're getting the items on the screen. Oh, yes. Oh, that looks so cool. I don't know if you guys can see it very well because it's like not got a good background behind it. But there it is. It's all the sticks are like right on top of each other. The sticks are perfect for it because they're so narrow.
See it.
There we go. Oh, I need more. Ah! Why'd you crash again? Dang it!
Is that for one? That actually is really nice.
That was.
The sticks.
Like, I'll need to position it on the screen and stuff, but that's nothing. Why did this error off? Null pointer. Didn't have a barracks to get from, really? Really? Okay, I don't want to have to put null checks for everything. Everywhere. Okay, let's do this. If barracks is not equal to null, then return it. Else, it is null, so we want to create a return. And let's go it this way. No, we did that right. We want to go that, but we'll just say barracks equals new array list. So it initializes the thing and it's not null anymore. And it should handle all the places I'm calling it from. Oops. So our positioning is way off on the vertical axis, but I'm not even sure if I want them that small, to be honest. So we'll be adjusting where it's positioned on the screen. It probably needs to be calculated too, and not just a hard-coded value of 450 even. Let's do this one at 475. I could, and this is what I was thinking about showing you the textures, but all the blocks have a different top on them, right, for each of the buildings. So, for example, if we don't crash, there we go. This is the barracks icon, right? The top of it. It's got a star on it. The archery range has a bow on the top of it. And the stables has this horse on top of it. We could take this texture that is the top of these blocks, make that into an item as well, and display that before the queues so that you know which queue it is at all times. So that if it's ever empty, you know which one's empty.
That'd be nice.
Crash!
Do you know why it's crashing?
It's null pointer exception, it says. The team queue shouldn't be empty. It could be any one of these variables on this line. So the team queues could be null. It could be get team is returning null. This is returning null. Get barracks is returning null. Size will never return null. But we just made get barracks never return null. At least it shouldn't, unless that's still considered null. The breakpoint there.
Derby.
Okay. I need to go soon anyway, guys. I just want it to work once so I can get a screenshot of it. Stay on the screen long enough. Come on, man. I guess they can get it to stay on the screen by removing all the barracks and everything. That would do it. Wait, we know it's not get team, because if it was get team, then it would be on a different line. Right? Maybe. Maybe not. Wait, is there get? Do I already have a team thing? No, just the owner. We'll get there eventually. Okay, so we've got a null. So step over that. Is it still considered null? I wouldn't think that it would be, but maybe it is. equals null. False. So it's not null. Oh my gosh. There's the problem. If it equals null, that's when we want to do that, not when it doesn't equal null. Noob mistake on my part.
Yes.
Thanks for agreeing.
You're welcome. Oh, my girlfriend's having deep fried shrimp caught from the ocean tacos, quesadillas.
Caught from the ocean tacos.
Shrimp caught like that the same day they caught the shrimp, and it looks like a quesadilla.
Oh.
And those tortillas look like they're homemade too.
Okay, let's do kill at E type equals TS RTS minion. So are you not allowed to eat them with her? Your diet?
I am.
Oh, okay.
But she's like 14 hours away from me, so
Oh.
I think they're gonna get cold by the time I get there. Or eaten. She's just teasing me and sending me pictures. That's why it sounds sad.
Why are you crashing? Now it's the archery range, really? See, it was null there too, so that was the first place that it got an error. Okay, so let's instead say that, so it gets initialized automatically. Haha. Sure. Panda, panda, panda. What's the other three? Bamboo. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was like, that does not look like bamboo.
Took me a minute. It's like potted bamboo. It's like just a shoot of it.
I searched it up, and that's what came out when I looked at bamboo, and I was like, that is not bamboo. You have to look at it very closely.
Yeah, it looks almost like a Christmas tree or something instead.
I was looking at it, it looked like a hat.
I could see that. Wouldn't be a hat I'd wear, but sure, it'd be a hat.
Actually, now I see a Christmas tree.
You're welcome.
The little yellow circles are the spears, and the green on the side. Bottom's the wood. Yay, I think I finished my English course.
I might have it.
Is that how you spell pikeman?
Is it? I don't know.
I read it as Pikachu or Pikaman. I was like, Pikaman? Huh?
Pikachu! You love a red panda? Our local zoo here in Columbus has a red panda. It's usually really hard to see though because he's up in a tree.
Is that a thing?
Yeah. It doesn't look like a panda. It looks more like a raccoon.
Fox? Oh. I just assumed it was like a bear that was red.
Oh. Yeah, if you asked me to describe it, I would describe it as a raccoon that's red. Like it likes being in trees. It what's the word? It has striped tail like raccoon. A fox.
I was gonna say a fox for the tail and the face, but once you see the side, it looks like a raccoon.
Eddie. Like, I'm trying to get a bunch of resources. Okay, I got a ton of resources now. Okay, so I'm gonna go up into the sky here so we can see this thing real good. And I'm just gonna start queuing like everything I possibly can. And try my best to get the queue as big as possible. And that's as big as possible. And take a screenshot. Yep. Ink tool. Boom. Got it. Finally! Red bear breathing.
Is that arrows? The bottom part?
They're lancers.
Oh. Can you do a close up of? Can you do a close up of the lances? And the guys holding them.
There. And so let's see. Come on here. There it is.
Oh, I was confusing them for pikemen.
Oh no. So there is a pikeman icon in there. There's like 3 or 4 of the sticks, a pike, and then sticks again on that top row. So the pike looks like this. If I put it in my hand.
It didn't crash this time.
No, it didn't crash at all. In fact, it went ahead and produced all those things I had in the queue.
Oh, nice.
The queue's empty. Ton of pikemen, ton of minions, ton of archers, ton of lancers. So the lance is showing off the bottom of the screen. In fact, here, let's fix this problem of me always having to click on what I want produced, because it's removing it from the queue as these things are building the troops. So if I just remove all of the buildings, they will not remove from the queue, and I can keep it on my screen. Okay, so I need to bump up the lowest one. Where is it?
I looked up iron pikes, and what is that thing called? That it's that thing that you shoot when you go fishing. It's against sharks, I think.
A harpoon?
Yeah, that's what came up.
Wow.
So I was just imagining the new class, but never mind.
There we go. Now we're getting more of the pike itself. Okay, somewhere in this world there is a barracks that I did not break. There it is. Bye, Reaper. Hi, Reaper. Let's
click on the wrong thing.
Try this. So in here, GL11. No, we don't want that one. We want the, yeah, this one right here. So we're currently scaling everything to half size. So it's 50% its normal size. So what if I do 75%? Because those are really small on my screen. What? Oh, shoot. Okay, so what if we do 2 first to get it back to normal size. There, off the screen. And then scale it to 0.75. And yes, if I took a moment to do math, I could figure out that in one number, one pass. But I don't wanna.
There should be no math.
That's a bigger line. It's easier to see what it is. I don't know that we want that though. What if it wasn't scaled at all, meaning it was full size? It's off my screen now. That's nice and big, but it's pretty obtrusive to the screen when you get a lot of them going.
What do you mean? All that?
Yeah. Obviously I can move it down in the corner again, but I think it's too big.
Is that for one item or is that for like many?
So this is
Each one symbolize one
unit.
troop?
One troop, yep. So that's 4 minions, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lancers, another 6 minions, another 4 lancers, and another 3 minions.
You're not going to be able to order them like 5 at a time instead of clicking 5 times? Is that not possible?
Maybe. So what CZ wants the screen to be is there's a number over here and like buttons or an arrow that you click to go up, and you click it to get it to the number 10 and you hit buy. And then it will do 10 of those, right? To me, clicking this button or clicking an up arrow is the same. But if you also have the ability to type into that, that's different. But that's a whole different GUI thing in Minecraft. Clicking on something to start typing into it when there's multiples on the screen. It's doable, but yeah. Those lancers are off the screen right now. I like them smaller, I think, than I do bigger. So let's not change the size. Let's put this back at 400. They're down the corner screen. I think they just need a background behind them, is all. And we probably need to cap it at, let's say, like the last 10 or so. Maybe 20. That way it doesn't take up the entire screen. Because if I were to keep clicking on pikemen and minions and pikemen and minions and these other ones too, we'll eventually get them to render like behind or in front of the hotbar down there. So eventually come out over here on this side of my screen.
Would move. Is there going to only be 3 rows?
There'll be more. There'll be at least one more.
I was gonna say put it in the middle. Like, you know, when you put, like, when you do a paragraph, instead of on the side, you put it in the middle and it expands outwards to both sides. I was gonna say do that, but from the top middle part of the screen. But if there's gonna be more, it might be too blockish. Like,
yeah.
But if there was only 3 lines, it'd be okay in the top middle.
I think if you could see what's in your queue for like the next, say, 20 units, you've got enough visibility into it. So if I limit it to go to whatever the size is, but no more than 20, it should be okay. In fact, that's so easy to do, I'll just do it. And I is less than 21. I guess 20.
How far away would the maybe in the screen for the size it is? It's only that, like maybe a quarter way.
So that's 20 right there. But keep in mind, all of this is subject to the scale that you're running your game at. So if I do this, it's only to there, right? But if I widen out my screen, now it's nowhere near my hotbar, right? So my hotbar is like dead center of my screen, but over there on the left are those unit queues. Like there's 3 feet between my hotbar and that.
I think 20 should be fine though.
But if I go like that, I think it's enough to get you to a feel of if you've got something coming up, right? Because my whole point in doing this is right now you come back to your base, you're almost guaranteed to have troops, right? As long as you have a building to make them, you'll have troops.
I think 20. I think you might want to make it to at least 30 because 20 is a little too little of a number. Because usually when we run the game, we at least have, what was it, like 40 troops?
I will often attack with 200 troops doing this, right? And it's not that you can't have more in the queue. It's just only going to show you the first 30.
Oh, it's only going to show you 30?
So, like, right now, if one of these were to be produced, that one would drop off, this one would shift, all of them would shift over, and you'd see whatever was next then. So if you don't see 30 listed there, then you know you need to spawn more in. You need to queue up more because you're going to run out of troops eventually.
And you're going to keep it at the same size, or you're going to still move it or make it bigger or smaller?
I think the next thing I need to try is put a background behind it so it's visible because it's too hard to see. Like if I'm in front of this wooden building, those pikes disappear. Hey, Blowstone. And I think the perfect thing to put behind it is what we've got at the top of the screen. So let me figure out how I did that, and I will put it down there. Awesome, man. Thank you.
Please make it like, can you use the same texture packs from the game itself? Like either dirt or wood or something like that?
Yeah, so the one I got up here is stone, basically, right?
And then can you pretty just put an outline around how big it is? Or would that be too much to ask?
If I can understand what you mean, I can do it.
So the size, the corners, not all the corners, but just the top corner and the right side. Just put like a little change or an outline, something.
I think I get what you're saying.
To be able to see what the corners are. It just makes it look a lot prettier than just having one single texture pack or one single thing.
You want the 3D effect that I've done here.
Let me see. Okay, you know, if you have like a fancy invitation or something, there's always like an outline around the corner, so the invitation, like a little line or squiggle or something.
Yeah, that's
something
what I've got.
That,
so it's lighter on the top and left, and darker on the bottom and the right. That's how Minecraft does it. So we want this to be not 512, but let's say 200. No, let's say 150. 180, and let's make it 200 tall. That's probably way too tall. Yeah, it's way too tall. 50 tall. Not tall enough. 60 tall. It looks ugly because it stretches it. Yuck. 18 tall it is. So I need a texture that fits down here, but if I had that,
you can do 3 lines.
Yeah, I could do 3 lines or a texture that fits the whole area. Because right now it's compressing it. It looks like poop down there because it's not the right size for that. This texture is the same texture as at the top, so it's taking the whole width and shoving it into that small area. So it looks like poop. But just having some type of background is what those need. And I bet if I were to...
What would be the size of the...
Go ahead.
What would be the size of that?
I don't know. It's going to be exactly it. That's the problem. 518? No, that wasn't 518. Couldn't be. 485. 485. Let's see what it looks on the bottom one there. Oh, dang it. I overwrote. 445. Yeah, those don't look the best, do they? Let's try 465. It could just be the background I'm using is bad for this. Yeah, see, the bows aren't too bad. The bows stand out. Okay, so this is just kind of tweaky stuff, right? I can tweak this all night long, and I probably will one night. But that's probably going to be up for tonight because the functions are there, right? We've got unit queues in the game. They may not be the final flavor of unit queues, but they're there enough for now. And I just need to tweak the visuals, like I was saying. And holy crap, does this have like super knockback on this weapon? Wow. Those things don't move at all, though. It's very deadly, too. Dang, this thing's strong. What did I set it at? 1, 2. Okay, it's still 3 hits. Or 4. Anyway, guys, yep. Have a good night, Blowstone. Have a good night, everybody. I'll catch you next time. Bye.